really cold again.
And it is raining. We should all be asleep.
Turn the heat. Turn the heat. Turn on, bro. There we go. Turn the heat on. Cool. Am I good? Can you see me?
Hope so.
Uh-oh. I'm standing right here. Maybe right where? Right there. Okay.
Turn on that manual focus. There we go. Cool.
So today, I brought my gloves. We're going to stain it with this honey. Screw our panels on, and I think we will polyurethane it maybe tomorrow. These are stuck together because if you remember from last time, I left the pre-stain on. I didn't separate them out or anything, so that stuff dried and yeah, stuck together. Not a big deal, but just if you do that, don't stack them up like my dumb did. Come up. This is why I need a cameraman or woman. Either way. You good? Okay. Sorry about last time with it being, you know, portrait mode or whatever. No more of that. I have a degree in this stuff. I need to act like it. This is my camera. This is my DSLR. I'm so used to Snapchat. I just was filming the whole thing on my phone. I didn't even think about it until I started editing, and I was like, so we're going to go ahead and start staining here. I'll show you the way I do it. Grab a whole bunch of paper towels, fold them up together into like a, I don't know, what, a square or whatever. Get this out of the way. Oh, so you got your, you know, square, whatever. I would lay plastic down. This stuff is it's like oil based, so it's gonna soak into your skin and anything else. So put gloves on and then put some plastic down. So I'm gonna start by staining up the frame, and that's because when I put these panels on, you're gonna see a tiny little bit of space in between these boards. So staining the frame, you won't see this white pine. You'll just see that right there. Shake your stain up like crazy. I also forgot to mention, I didn't sand the frame, and I don't sand anything that you're not going to feel or see. On my paneling, the side that's inside the frame, this side right here, I'm not gonna sand it all because, you know, nobody's ever gonna see that. I'm not worried about the frame in terms of sanding, just stain right now. Get your good little dab of that there stain there, boss. And then you just rub her on there. I'm not super worried about how many coats I do on the frame either because, again, you're not gonna see it. So don't put a massive amount on this end and then just a little bit here. You wanna get all the way through and you wanna go all the way across. You know what I'm saying? Get your good spread. So with stain, the longer you leave it on, you put your coat on, and then the longer you let it sit, the darker your stain is gonna get.
Ooh, don't get the stain on the camera. Crap.
Oh, okay. The only reason this thing is wobbling at all is my table is bowed like a bowl. So I promise you it's straight. It's just, it looks like it's wobbling. We good.
So last time I was talking about why you use this pre-stain stuff. Let me see if I can find an example. Right there, yes. It prevents like this blotchiness crap. I don't know why it does that, but if you use this pre-stain stuff, which I have done with these will look a lot better. You won't have this ugly blotchiness. You'll get a more even coat. So our frame is done. Now we can move to our paneling.
Gloves don't fit. Now the fun part, well, we've been in the fun part. Continue the fun part. Got stain on my screwdriver. I'm very messy with this shit. It's because I'm lazy. Oh, I missed. Let's get it. Start from one end, go all the way down, and keep doing it over and over until you get all of the surface. The ends aren't as important on my 15 inches because they'll be covered. Wipe all the stain off once you're done. So that's pretty solid. Every panel will look like this, and the whole thing will
Yeah, be that color.
So what I'm doing is I'm just stacking these up to the side. Be careful doing that because if you leave a bunch of stain on your blocks, the stain will run. So you want to get all of that off and basically just make sure it's damp and that you have no drips or like puddles on your wood, you know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, like I said, it will run and it'll mess up the pattern of your stain. Normally what I do is I wait for the stain to dry before I start putting stuff together. Today, because I want to do all this in one video, we're going to put these on while they're wet. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be fine. I just wear gloves and it should be okay. The one thing that I do want to make sure of though too is I need to get some black screws. That's one thing I did forget, so I'll have to go get some of those. The black, I think, will blend in with this pretty well. I think you won't see them. I really just wanted them to be subtle and for you not to see them super well. They'll all run together sort of like in one line. You'll see in a little bit, but I'll have like 2 screws and they'll all run in one long line. These are awesome, dude. Yeah, soaker in there, baby. There's no rules to this, dude. You can do whatever you want. A lot of people say you're supposed to, you know, go back and forth, evenly blah. I don't care. I'm just gonna get it done. Make sure it looks good, that's all that matters. I just realized, don't stack them, because if you do that, you know me, they will puddle and you don't want that. Just wipe them off, I guess, as you go and you'll be fine. I have a blue spot right here. I'm not super worried about it because these are the 15 inches, so you won't see the ends. The ends will be covered by these 18 inches, so I'm not worried about the blue there. Nobody will ever really know, other than y'all. I'm using paper towels. They get pretty tattered, I don't know if you can see that, but the wood tears them up. So normally I don't use paper towels, that's just all I have today. I guess what I would normally use is like terry towels. This right here, you know, old shirts, whatever, you know, just something that's not gonna like tatter on you and be annoying.
Well, golly, buddy, you're looking pretty good there.
Almost done. Not done. These are the top pieces. I cut these off camera. I never sanded them, so I have to sand them. And once I sand them, then we'll start putting stuff on our frame.
One thing that does kind of suck about this is when you sand, dust kind of gets everywhere, so it'll mess up your stain if it's wet. So I'm just stained now. I gotta sand these, and it's raining outside, or I would go out there and do it, but I guess we just gonna do it over here. Yeah. Now we have to use this on that. We're gonna go ahead and let these dry. And over here, we're gonna start, oh, I missed a spot. Whoosh.
Went to Lowe's and now we finna put it together.
We're gonna start putting these on. More gloves. Oh, so I got these 2.5, ooh, if it'll focus, 2.5 inch screws that we're going to use. The reason I got 2.5, we take one of these boards, 1.5 inch, that's 3 inches. If I can do this with one hand, this is why I need a cameraman. 2.5 inch screwdy. It'll go in about 1/2 inch through. It won't stick out. We'll put 2 on each one all the way up. Okay, so while I was losing my mind, I needed to figure out how many boards go on each side. 7. 7 boards will get us. So this is what it's going to look like essentially. All 4 sides will look like this, and then we'll have a top well. Each of the top sides here, that's what the live edge looking stuff kind of looks like. If you can see that, yeah. So yeah, that'll be cool. Attaching these wood panels, I will drill 2 holes only into the panel, not into the frame, because I want the nail to bite into the frame. We're gonna drill 2 holes on either side. I'm probably gonna measure out whatever the center of this is, but whatever we do, it will look symmetrical, and it'll have 2 on each side so that they'll stay up. Let's screw some. So this is how I'm gonna decide where to put my screws. You can see from the edge to the end of this frame here. This is 5 inches. So half of 5 is 2 1/2. So each of my 18-inch boards, we will come across 2 1/2 inches, drill our 2 holes, and then we will be good to go. The more you hear a word, the less it makes sense. Well, the same thing happens here. I'm doing this over and over and over again, and I'm starting to forget how to read. The way that I am going to drill these, I know that I'm 3 1/2 inches wide here. I don't know what half of 3 1/2 is, but if I use a square, you see the 3 1/2? 2 is not quite half, but 1 3/4 is. So find your 1 3/4, which is right here. Now I'm gonna do half of 1 3/4. I'm gonna do half of 1 3/4 over here as well. All I gotta do is find my marks and remember my marks. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not really doing math, I'm just kinda winging it. So half of 1 3/4 is that right there, I believe, 7/8. So we'll do one at 7/8, and we'll do another one at 2 3/4. Is that right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'll work. I guess. I don't know for sure. I'm not doing the math. I'm just gonna say 7/8 over here from the edge. That's where we're gonna put our screws. We're gonna go 2 1/2 inches from the edge. So from the edge, 2 1/2 inches over. From this edge, 7/8 over. So that's gonna be consistent throughout the whole thing. I'm not worried about whether it's like technically symmetrical, if that makes sense. Like if the math works out, however you do this, just make sure your measurements are consistent. If you have the same dimensions every time, it'll look symmetrical, even though it may not be perfectly symmetrical, if that makes sense. Okay, so now that I've got my 1 hole, I know I'm 2 1/2 inches from the edge, and I know I'm 7/8 from this edge. So I don't have to measure this for this hole. All I have to do is line up my speed square, make sure that this part is fully flat against this edge, because otherwise you'll get a diagonal line in your square. So I'm gonna come back just a bit here. Okay, and then 7/8 is where I wanna go, and that is right here. So we're gonna go ahead and drill her up there, boss. We are good to go, baby. We are so close. Look at that. Oh, the hole, baby. Home stretch here, once you have your holes drilled. So with the first board being drilled through, you can see our holes are good to go. We'll go ahead and screw them in as we go as well. So number 1 thing before you screw this is to make sure that you're flush on this end and you're flush on this end, with these boards being up against my frame, so that I know that I don't have any space that I'm missing, so that these wouldn't totally be flush, if that makes sense. Okay, flush. Ugh, I always get so nervous putting the first one in, because dude, it's just scary. I'm gonna be really careful. I don't want this nail sticking out at all of the wood. I also don't want it too far into the wood. So I want it as flush as possible so that it almost feels like it's part of the wood. Whew. I'm a total dumb, but I'm a smart dumb because I caught myself. I didn't even think about it, but this table, I don't know if you can even see, it is like a bowl. It's bowed, it's not straight at all. So when I screw this in, which I already have done, this right here needs a flat surface so that it can be positioned so that it won't wobble on the floor, if that makes sense. So instead of putting it here, I need to move over to my table saw where I know for certain that this is flat. The left side is the problem. It's got a slight wobble to it, kind of. I don't want to shim it, so I'll have to, I'll just take it out, and then you can even see the space. Look at the space there.
Boogity, 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 boys. Let's take these screws out.
Make sure we're flat against the bottom here, right here. So I'm gonna push down. I'm gonna make sure we're flush over here. Make sure we're flush over here. And then we're gonna screw her in there, Bo. As I tightened this one in, this side wanted to come up like that a little bit. So I held it down as I screwed it in. I kind of f***ed that one up, just like I was saying a minute ago. I went a little too far in, which is, it's not horrible at all. It's just, there's an indentation there. I didn't want that. I wanted flatness so that, you know, you run your finger across and you're not worried about it. But, I mean, nothing's perfect. It'll be fine. We're still not done, but it's like 90% finished. The only thing I have left to do now is put the top on. So here's our end table, just like we were saying. We got our live edging up here. It goes all the way around. I think that's pretty cool. The top here will look just like this, basically. So it'll be the same kind of design. This is what I was originally going for, putting something on top. That ain't gonna work. So what I'll end up doing, most likely, is I will put this, you know, whatever this measurement from here to here is, I believe it's gonna be 15. I think these are what's fitting there. So I think we're gonna put just some 15 inches right there. We'll go all the way across, and then, man, we will be in good shape. It's late and I wanna watch football, so I'm gonna turn this into a 3-parter, I think, but don't worry, I got you.